Hello humans, it's just Martine and welcome to week 3 of Becca's Bookoplathon. It's 2:44 p.m. on Monday afternoon. I just got a pineapple Fanta to reward myself for writing 2 separate paper drafts today. I have a book club in an hour, so until then, I'm going to finish editing Wednesday's video. Maybe I'll read today. I guess we'll find out together. It's 9:04 and I watched YouTube for quite a while, and now I'm going to start The Year of the Flood, which is book 2 of 3 in the Mad Adam trilogy. I read the first book, Oryx and Crake, in my honors seminar class last year, and we read an article in that class that discussed the second book and had quotes from it, and I found it really interesting, so I wanted to give it a try. And the first book was okay, but I'm using this to fulfill the prompt to read a book set in the future. I'm going to do some short sprints on my phone. It's 10:46 and I just got back from hanging out in the RA office for a little bit. I'm going to read a couple more chapters of The Year of the Flood, which I'm really enjoying so far, and I'm going to eat some Cheez-Its. And then I'm gonna go to bed. So good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Happy Tuesday. This morning I've been listening to Not That Kind of Guy, and I just reached the 50% mark. If you watched my last vlog, you might recall that I was not enjoying this book. I'm glad I did not immediately DNF it. I'm not saying this is my new favorite book or anything, but it has gotten the slightest bit more entertaining. This is not a spoiler because it's in the synopsis, but basically the 2 main characters accidentally get a drunk Vegas marriage, and the only thing better than a fake dating trope is a fake marriage trope. Fake, weird word to use here, but they're staying married to mess with people. Well, for now, while they get a divorce. But we all know that's not how this is going to end. Yeah. Also, I think the author made it a bit more clear why this girl swore off men after dating the same guy for 10 years and then actually hearing stories about it. And I hate him. And now I am rooting for the main characters to work, so that's way better than last week, but I guess we'll see what happens. I know this has been a shocking update. No one was expecting me to like any part of this book, but it's entertaining. We'll leave it at that. It's 4:08 p.m. I've had a very busy day. I realized that one of the reasons why my last few reading vlogs might have seemed choppy is because I only discuss when I'm reading. Like, yes, it's a reading vlog, but you should know that I do other things. So basically, rundown for today. This morning, I went and had a nice brunch by myself, and that's when I listened to Not That Kind of Guy, which I filled you in on. And then I had class at 11, class at 12:30, and then I took a significant dance break and answered some emails. And then I had a test at 3:30. Now I'm probably going to watch YouTube until dinner. Just being real, because I have a busy night tonight. I have Bible study and a budgeting meeting, so it'll be time to probably stop really looking at electronics besides my e-reader when I get home from all that, so I can read more then. Yeah. It's 8:49 and I just got home from my meeting and my Bible study, and my head is pounding, probably because I cried too much today, but that's fine. That happens, and you're allowed to have feelings. I'm allowed to have feelings, but now my head hurts, so I don't want to read. I just want to sleep, but I know if I go to sleep now, like, I'll have a bad night of sleep. Maybe I should do something I rarely do and intentionally choose to watch an episode of something instead of watching YouTube. Let's see what we can find. Disney might make me happier. Let's look. If you think I'm not going to start rewatching this movie, you're wrong. I saw this movie in theaters with my cousins in Canada whenever it came out. 2011, it cannot have been that long. It is 2020. I was like 11 when I saw this, and I read most of the books before that. Was that okay for me to be reading? Anyway, I mean, they are children's books, but like, some scandalous stuff happens in there. Not really. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, here's my deal with myself. I'm going to wash my face before I start watching, because I won't do it after. Then I'll have a snack, and then I'll brush my teeth right before I go to bed. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Okay, good night. Hello humans, happy Wednesday. I'm actually in the middle of reading something right now, and I thought I'd share. It's a research article, something that I read all the time for school. Sometimes this is the most reading I get done in a day, is my school reading. So I thought I'd show you that even on days when I barely seem to read anything, I'm reading. I'm just not reading non-school things. Fiction, fun things. I mean, this article's kind of interesting so far, but You know what I mean. It's 2:17 and I'm gonna get to reading now for fun. I'm going to read The Year of the Flood. Probably gonna do that in small increment sprints just cause that works for me. I've broken out the spicy nacho Doritos. Perfect. It's raining really hard outside. This is perfect for reading. I'm a quarter of the way through The Year of the Flood. My thoughts haven't changed much from when I last updated on it. I'm still kind of waiting to see if there's any real plot, I guess. It's more about a religious group, how it works and stuff in this society, which is interesting, but I can't tell if there's supposed to be any distinctive plot. Story time. I have a friend who lives on the same floor as me in my dorm. I saw him earlier today and he was like, I was watching one of your videos because he's a loyal subscriber and watcher as well as an amazing friend, so shout out to you. You know who you are. He was like, I was watching your Bookoplathon videos and it bothered me that you don't have dice, and I have an excess of dice in my life, so I'm going to give you some. And I was like, you don't need to do that. And he was like, so a couple of minutes ago, I went to fill my water bottle using the water bottle filler in the hallway, and I opened the door and something fell, and I was like, what? And I looked down and there were 2 dice on the floor. So the next time I do a roll, I'll have dice. Thanks, friend. Today's grocery haul is very simple. It's just frozen green beans and Cheez-Its. Good morning, happy Thursday. It's 8:18 a.m. and I just finished The Story of Dr. Dolittle, which I read for my prompt to read a classic, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I'm 70% of the way into Not That Kind of Guy, and yesterday my feelings were getting better about it, and I think that the way I have to describe it today, like my total reading experience so far, is that like the beginning I hated, but then we got to this point where I was that one TikTok sound that's Gru, and he's like, I like it, but not a lot. I don't like it. That's pretty much how I feel. Today's reading, I just feel like there's no real tension. They're both just being butt heads to the point where they aren't okay with their own feelings and they won't express them to one another, even though like they're both having the same feelings, and just not being able to communicate really well, which I kind of hate. Like, I don't think it's fun to romanticize that. Of course, people miscommunicate all the time, but like if that's the main plot, I can do without it. Yeah, I like it, but not a lot. I don't like it. I think the person working at the dining hall who gave me my lunch today must think I'm insane because they had chicken and waffles, but I'm vegetarian, so I was like, can I please just have waffles? I got my waffles. Oh my goodness, friends. Today is a wonderful day. My sister and I just trekked across campus to go to shipping and receiving, and we stopped in the mailroom, and I got so many goodies from people that love me and who I love back. So I'm going to share some of the things that were sent to me. I'm going to start with my aunt, my godmother, my favorite. First of all, she makes handmade cards, and they're the cutest thing ever. I'll show you the little doodle she did inside about wearing a mask, and then she sent me a mask made by one of her friends, and when I say I freaked out when I saw this, I mean I lost my mind because I literally wanted to spend like $10 on pretty much this exact thing the other day on Amazon, but I got it as a surprise in the mail. Her friend makes masks and she sent me a pineapple mask. This is very exciting to me. Pineapples are my absolute aesthetic. I love them dearly. So that made me super happy. If I ever want to look cool with a mask on, this will be it. I can just imagine wearing this with one of my dope Hawaiian shirts. It's on. Next, I got a package from my mother, who I love dearly, and she sends us goodies, and they always make me really happy inside. The first is that a family friend made us these masks, these super cool masks, very heavy duty, with a thing. So get this. You can put it around your neck, and then you'll have it on, and then it can rest right there, and a nose piece which is reinforced the fabric right here so it doesn't tear as easily, and very well made. I feel like if I'm walking into a situation where I need really durable protection, this is the mask I'm going to be wearing. And then my mom, who knows every way to my heart ever, got me spicy chips, sour candy, Mickey Mouse hand sanitizer, a cute cookie, candy corn, socks, and Twix and Reese's bats. So you could say I'm winning and you would be entirely correct. This has made my week. This is the best Thursday ever. Thank you to my loved ones. You have made a pretty happy girl already today. Very, very joyed. A joyous occasion. Very happy. And I love you all. Happy Friday. It's about 4:21 or so, and I'm about to sit down and spend a good portion of time reading. I'm done all of my obligations for the day. I had my class, I had my event that I was running, I had my quiz, and so now I am free to enjoy the weekend. Yes. So I'm going to be reading The Year of the Flood. I read like 50 pages of The Year of the Flood before I went to dinner. Again, not much to say about it. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I don't really have anything specific coming to mind to talk about it, especially since it is a second book, but also seems very different from the first. So like, I don't really know what to say. That being said, since I finished the story of Dr. Dolittle the other day, I've only had 2 books on my reading board, and I think it's way more motivating to have too much going on. So I want to add a third, like I usually have, which means I need to do a new roll. This moment is for my friend who's bothered by the fact that I was not using dice. Ready? 7. The last time I was here, I landed on lowest rated. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Foiled cover? I don't have any physical books with me. I'm going to have to re-roll, which means I have to pick 2 books for the next prompt I land on. So let's go back to rolling. 8. Okay, we were on foiled cover, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Middle grade. So at first, I was like, yay, middle grade. I can just read Kingdom Keepers 3 and make my next Kingdom Keepers rereading video. And then I remembered that I have to pick a second middle grade. So anyway, I was scrolling through my library catalog, and I'm going to be reading Spy School by Stuart Gibbs. Now they won't fit on my board, though. This is upsetting to me. I'll write Spy School on it, and I can physically see my progress in this one. Okay, that's what we'll do. I was sitting here importing the last footage I took when I realized something. You see that shine? Does that count as foiling? It doesn't matter if it does. I've already rolled. It's only middle grade. It's not like I landed on 2 books over 500 pages. That would be different. What am I thinking? It's the end of a school week. I'm not thinking. I think the move for the next little bit is going to be to pop my headphones in and to listen to Not That Kind of Guy and take steps. I'm only like 400 steps away from my step goal, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. And I'm going to sit down and play Sudoku or however you want to pronounce it while I listen to my audiobook. It's 9:44 and I just finished Not That Kind of Guy, and I gave it 2 stars. Should I be surprised? No. I was reading this for the prompt to read the lowest rated. It delivered. There were moments where I was okay with this book, and that's what gave it a 2 stars instead of a 1 star. There were times when I wasn't actively rolling my eyes. I appreciated those moments. There was never a moment I was like, this is really cute or this is really well written. Not a one of them. I hate it. The fact that the plot was twofold: miscommunication and distrust. These characters definitely had their issues to work through, but that was the whole plot. Like that was it. There was even a chance for like more devious things to happen, and those things started to happen, and then they backed up and the characters like retook control, and I was like, there goes that tension, there goes that plot, there goes that really good reason for things to fall apart. These characters would literally think to themselves in their inner monologue, our problem is that we don't communicate well. We need to work on that. And 5 minutes later, less than that, they'd miscommunicate again. Or they wouldn't even miscommunicate, they just wouldn't communicate. Minor spoilers. He got the stomach bug and his mom took his phone away. She was weird. And so he couldn't contact her. And she basically just assumed things were over and didn't try to contact him except for going to his mom's house, being pushed out by her, so like knowing that something's up and then being like, oh, so he hates me. I understand disordered thinking. I'm familiar, trust me. But this was just a whole nother level. This was just obscene. This one character would be honest with this other character the whole time. And then all of a sudden they were like, wait a second, do I trust them? I don't think so. I don't think so, because people I don't trust told me not to trust them. So anyway, I'm glad I'm done this book. I'm amending my previous clip. I'm not going to read Spy School for my middle grade prompt. Instead, I'm going to read Mary Poppins. The reason is as follows. I was listening to this book as an audiobook, so it was the audiobook I was in the middle of. Now I've finished it, I don't have an audiobook, but I already have an ebook going. So why would I add another ebook but not have an audiobook? It's not maximizing my reading time, my reading experience. This is a readathon, people. We're trying to read as much as we can right now. And Spy School, my library has the audiobook, but I'd have to put a hold on it. There are a couple issues with that. One, I'm allowed to have 10 holds. I have 10 holds, so I couldn't actually place a hold, and then it would be like 2 weeks before it came in. So like September could be ending by then. Foolhardy, and I'm not just gonna roll again. So anyway, I don't know if you'd count Mary Poppins as a middle grade. I'm counting it. It's juvenile fiction. Since it's a sufficient chapter book, I'm gonna say it's middle grade. That just makes sense to me. And if I'm wrong, so be it. It doesn't really matter. So that's my next audiobook. Cool beans. Happy Saturday. So far today I've read a little more than 50 pages of Beloved, but I really need to finish this book this weekend. Like, I actually have to finish this book this weekend, and I would prefer to finish it today. I'm going to do some more reading sprints. I was reading for 20 minutes at a time earlier, but I'm going to do that thing that Becca did where she rolled a dice in honor of Bookoplathon, and each dot was worth a certain number of minutes. I'm only going to use one dice because I don't do long sprints. So each of these dots is going to count for 5 minutes. I'm going to have to re-roll if it lands on 1. I'm not going to read for just 5 minutes in a sprint. The forest timer doesn't go that low. A minimum of 10 minutes. Okay. So my next sprint, 30 minutes long. Sprint 1 done. I'm on page 288. 15 minutes. 15 minutes done. I'm on page 302 now. Nope. 15 more minutes. That was on 3. 15 more minutes. I read for 5 minutes past the end of that sprint because I was so close to the ending, and I finished Beloved, and I literally don't know what to think. So I think it's going to get a 3 stars for me because it's just so hard to understand, which I did not like. But I liked the writing, and like, I know that there's stuff I'm missing. It's got to be awesome, but am I stupid? This just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, going to dinner now. It's 9:30, and what started as me going to dinner with my sister ended with me helping my sister study for her biochemistry test for 3 hours. She's an absolute rock star. If you ever think that the amount of stuff I do in my life is impressive, you haven't met my sister. She is my superhero. Absolutely incredible. So the good news is that she's feeling a little bit better about her test on Monday. The bad news is that I have the Fisher's projection of glucose seared into my brain, something I will never need. I have the names of some sugars in my brain and funny stories about them there too that I will never need, but I think it would freak out my Bio 1 teacher if I brought them up, so I probably won't end up doing that, but it would be funny. And also I made sure she took regular breaks and like gave her ice cream and stuff, so I also gave myself ice cream. So when I inject psychology into studying by providing reinforcement. Anyway, all that to say that I just got back to my room, and it's pretty late. Just want to start winding down, getting ready for bed. I'm hoping to do the tiniest bit of reading because I haven't read any of The Year of the Flood today because all my reading energy has gone towards Beloved, which took over 2 hours of my life, but which I'm glad to be done with. This is the end of my Saturday updates, and I'll see you tomorrow, just like 2 seconds from now. Happy Sunday. This is going to be my only update for the day because it's 7:39 p.m. and I plan to go hang out in the RE office tonight, and then I shall be pooped and I will go to bed. So here's where we're at. I didn't really read anything today. I did a lot of YouTube stuff, editing, filming, video planning, etc. I also had like my family call this week, and I had an executive board meeting, and I watched YouTube and all that stuff. Good fun times. Then I sat down right now to read for half an hour. I read like 8% of The Year of the Flood, and now I'm at like 63% overall. I can't wait to finish this book next week, not because I want it to be over, but because I'm so enjoying it. I think I mentioned that the first book, Oryx and Crake, was alright, but I'm loving this one. I especially think it's so cool to like see everything from somebody else's perspective, and then suddenly you get a glimpse of like, oh, this character that you know, or like that character that you knew from the first book, and It's just very interesting like that. I'll put it that way. And I definitely think it's covering like the more interesting parts of what happens in the first book, because the first book is almost entirely told in flashbacks. And while this seems to be told in flashbacks, it doesn't have as much time in the present as the first one does, which I appreciate, because the present for this timeline was like not interesting and I didn't love it. I have to say though, I didn't like love Jimmy as a character in general in Oryx and Craig. Like, he was fine, but following like Ren and Toby in this one, I love them so much more. And I just think learning about like these made up religious groups or like cultist groups is so much more interesting than just watching this one dude like walk back to this place that he knew. All that to say, I think it's probably going to end up being a solid 4 stars unless anything changes in this last like 40% of it. Some stats for all of you who are curious. So far this month I've read 8 books, which it's the 20th. So like, considering the fact that it's a readathon, like I could have read more, but also considering the fact that it's my first full month of school, I'm like surprising myself and doing pretty well. I'm proud of that. Hopefully this next week we'll get lots of reading done. We'll finish this book. We'll be reading middle grade books. It'll be a good time. In the next 2 weeks we can finish this up real strong. Minimum I want for this month is to finish 10 books, and that's definitely going to happen. So unless something drastic occurs. So anyway, all that to say, I'm on track. I'm having a good time with this readathon. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below, how was your reading week? What are you reading right now? Have you read any of the Mad Adam trilogy, either Oryx and Crake or The Year of the Flood or whatever the third one is? I wasn't interested in the third one, and now I'm like, I might be interested in the third one depending on how the end of this one goes, which is unfortunate because my library does not have the third one. So it's weird. They don't have the first one either. I only read it because I read it for class, but they have the second one. Weird. Sometimes the library does that with series. I don't know why. If anybody knows why, comment down below. And subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content on Wednesdays and Sundays. And until next time, bye humans, bye!